If you didn't feel bad for Shigaraki before, how you feeling now? What's up guys, it's Truth Hero, and welcome back to another My Hero Academia chapter review. Today, we'll be discussing Boku no Hero Academia chapter 235 of the manga, and we'll cover everything from Re-Destro's 80% stress form and his 2 stress bombs, to of course diving deeper into Tomura Shigaraki's past and this whole Tenko flashback. But also, we'll call into question what All For One's true meaning was when he said to little Tenko, "No one came to help you, did they?" Let's dive in. Now, the chapter opens with Re-Destro still in trouble and his safety is still in jeopardy as Gigantomachia is on his way. But he's not listening to Skeptic, he's still so focused on analyzing Shigaraki. Hey, Re-Destro, that's my job, okay? You worry about the battle with Shigaraki. Otherwise, Gigantomachia is just going to destroy you, okay? Let me do the analysis. Although Re-Destro looks amazing here, but you gotta remember, this isn't even my final form. This is just 80% stress. So, with these 2 stress bombs that Re-Destro has been apparently training with since childhood, this versus Gigantomachia, the monster of a giant that he is, should be an epic matchup. And don't forget, these stress bombs are as powerful as a Detroit Smash. Should be an epic fight. The chapter quickly switches focus to Shigaraki, of course, and we learn of the one rule in the Shigaraki household. Kotaro-san, or Tenko's dad, says, there is to be no talk of heroes. So little Tenko gets in trouble for playing hero. I don't know about all of you, but I played pretend a lot as a kid, and punishing a child like this because he doesn't understand the ramifications of being a hero or what you think a hero is, it's pretty low. But we see his dad lock him outside. Now it's painfully obvious by the end of the chapter that Tomura Shigaraki and Shoto Todoroki have a lot in common. His dad was abusive, even if it was just in punishment. He got violent with him, and made this poor 5-year-old little Tenko hate everything. It's very disturbing to see how he's punished here. While many parents hit their children, and while that is totally inexcusable and unjustified, the punishment of locking your kid outside like a dog is far worse in my opinion. And if it's not worse, it still has this element of psychological damage that tells the child, you don't belong, you're an outcast, you're not part of the family until you accept all of our rules. And these rules are for a child not to play pretend hero? Even the actual dog is inside of the house most of the time with Hana-chan. There's no excuses for this. While he's teaching his son a lesson, he says something very interesting. Dreams of becoming a hero can only result in unhappiness. And this is a great quote for 2 reasons. 1, this is only true for the Tenko family. Shigaraki grew up to be a villain and the exact opposite of his dream of being a hero, so of course this brings unhappiness. It also brought a great deal of pain to his father because of Shimura Nana, his grandmother, abandoning her family to fight All For One. 2, it parallels Deku's experience nicely. Shigaraki and Deku both wanted to be heroes, but only one was able to see that dream through. We see Shigaraki saying, all I wanted was that one phrase. Just wanted to hear it from all of you. And this is the same as when Deku just wanted his mom to say, you can be a hero too, Deku. You can achieve your dreams. Also, it's kind of shocking how similar young Tenko and young Deku look alike. Despite his strict father, Shigaraki's mom actually kind of secretly supports her son's dreams of becoming a hero. She encourages little Tenko when he's talking about his friends and how they're playing hero, and this part really got to me. Little Tenko says, yeah, my friends kind of compared me to All Might because I was so nice even though they didn't want to play with me at first. Come on, Horikoshi, how tragic can you make this? This is also fascinating to learn because at one point Shigaraki actually looked up to All Might, just like Deku did. But now his hatred for everything makes him want to spite the very thing he used to love. If you remember back to the beginning of the series, all he wants to do is kill the symbol of peace. Kill All Might. You know his hatred's serious. Later on in this flashback, we see Hana-chan revealing to little Tenko that their grandmother was none other than Shimura Nana, and their family does in fact have a heroic lineage. They make a cute vow to be hero siblings, and for once I feel good. I feel like Tenko can make it. That is, until Daddy comes home. Now, before talking about the final development in this chapter, did you guys notice that when little Tenko is playing with his dog and he's throwing the ball, this is actually the first time his quirk manifests. We see the ball and there's a few fragments coming off of it, and Shigaraki's like, ah, in pain as his hand is itching. When little Tenko talks about this moist, rainy air that hurt his irritated skin like needles, and this itch sprang up from his stomach from the depths of his body, it seems pretty obvious to me that his decay quirk was the allergy, or it's at least what caused it, and that his quirk simply just didn't fit the human body until it finally manifested when he first uses it. And this is very interesting because even in the beginning of the series, when Shigaraki's mature, or at least when he's a physically mature adult, he's still scratching at his face. He still has these circles under his eyes. So I'm wondering if by the end of this arc, when his quirk's fully awakened and he knows all of his limitations and what he can do, if he'll no longer have allergies. We then see Shigaraki's father start to beat him, and he tells little Tenko, a hero is someone who hurts their own family for the sake of others. He clearly hates his own mother for abandoning his family. He calls Shimura Nana a demon. And while beating your son is totally uncalled for, you can kinda understand where Kotaro-san's rage stems from. He's traumatized by his past and doesn't want his son to abandon his future family. But that phrase, a hero is someone who hurts their own family for the sake of helping others? Maybe Kotaro-san should have taken his own advice, because right now, all he's doing is hurting little Tenko, his family, for the sake of helping himself. Oh, the irony. As Shigaraki's dad is absolutely wailing on him, we see two things. One, just how hurt Shigaraki's dad actually was when Shimura Nana left their family to go fight bad guys. All for one. And two, obviously little Tenko getting beaten up, but he's saying, help, please, don't just watch, save me, someone, anyone. So our chapter of pain and trauma ends with little Tenko finally being overcome by his hatred and rage. Now, I can't say that I really blame the boy, he's been through a lot. And this final scene where he's hugging his dog really close, he's trembling, he's bawling his eyes out, we finally hear those words for the first time. Not the words of Tenko, no, the words of Tomura Shigaraki. His motivations are solidified. I hate everyone. And then, his puppy, his poor puppy, his little pupper, is the first one to experience his decay quirk. End. Cliffhanger. No, I can't wait till next week. I want to find out what happens now. I wish the chapter continued. What happens when little Tenko stands up and sees his dead dog on the ground? How much trauma can this child take? What happens when his father comes out to say, hey, are you okay? Or confronts him? It was at that moment he realized, you know what I mean? So, although we have to wait an entire week to find out this riveting family story, there is actually something that can hold us over. We can actually learn a great deal about All For One and Shigaraki from this flashback. When All For One was reaching out to little Tenko and said, no one came to help you, we thought there was some disaster, and then we learned that Shigaraki actually killed his entire family. Now, we always thought that All For One meant heroes here, that no heroes came to get little Tenko, but as it turns out, going by this chapter, he actually meant none of Tenko's family members helped him against his dad's abuse. Tenko was screaming the entire time, help, please, don't just watch, save me, someone, anyone. Also, was All For One there that day? I mean, he had to be at least close or know what was going on in the household because, to me, this is no coincidence that the grandson of a user of One For All becomes your successor in villainy. It's too good. I like to think that All For One engineered this situation, so I'd like to know how much he actually influenced the family of Tenko before all this went down. Also, not to be the crazy theory guy, although I pretty much am, but this got me thinking, is Shigaraki actually originally quirkless? Long-winded theory coming, so just hear me out. Shigaraki's dad noted that his son would be very devastated when he found out he didn't have a quirk. And if you remember, little Tenko was 5 years old at this point, and by everyone's best guess, was just a kid without a quirk. Nothing had manifested. He was actually really similar to Deku, except Deku found All Might. Well, what if Shigaraki found someone too? Now we know that little Tenko had a quirk, there's no denying it. His allergy that's causing him to scratch and rub his eyes, it's clearly from his decay quirk manifesting. But we don't know for how long he had the allergy. And this is where it gets intriguing. If All For One truly wanted to engineer his successor to be a family member of One For All, it would be pretty hard. But in steps Tenko. Tenko coincidentally wants to be a hero, but his father won't allow it. This causes a little bit of disdain for the world he's growing up in. But that's not enough. He needs pure hatred. So what does All For One do to ensure that Tenko grows up to be Shigaraki and only feels hatred in his heart? He must enact murder, and he must do it himself. Since we don't actually know how long Tenko had these allergies, we can't say for sure how long he's had his decay quirk in his body. And like his mom said, they have been going to different doctors to try to figure out what's happening and what's causing these allergies, but so far, no answers. The medical community hasn't even heard of this. Wait, going to doctors? If Tenko is like all the other little boys in Japan who apparently all go to Dr. Ujiko for their physicals, then it's game over. All For One already has him in his hands. I don't think this is a coincidence that All For One chose little Tenko to be his successor. All he has to do is give Dr. Ujiko a serum, little Tenko goes to the doctor for his normal physical, and gets some medicine. Next thing you know, you have a resentful kid who's not too fond of his father, wandering around with allergies and being an outcast from society and having a very, very, very dangerous and unstable decay quirk. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the murder. Shimura Nana did say to her son, the bad guys might come after you. I guess she didn't realize they're pretty patient. As always, thanks for watching. Do you guys think Shigaraki could have been quirkless? What do you think about All For One engineering his successor? And I don't know about you, but I just can't see little Tenko killing Hana-chan. I think she might still be alive. But what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you like these manga reviews and My Hero Academia content, consider enrolling at UA today by clicking subscribe. And until next time, I actually have something more for you. Okay guys, this is uncut and unscripted. I'm actually just doing this live, coming to you live, but I might try this at the end of the videos where I have a longer discussion and maybe you guys can follow along in the comments if it's a premiere video. I'd like to do this at the end of chapter reviews to sort of flesh out ideas further because I can't always fit it into a 10-minute video, but at the same time I don't want to make it 20 minutes and have the whole video be like this. So I might try this and tell me if you guys like it. But for this one, I was originally going to do the Shigaraki doesn't have a quirk thing, and we had to put it earlier in the video, and that's why this video is so long. I have to touch upon the motif in this chapter, and really the whole motif in My Hero Academia, which is basically, let me take a drink. When someone is disenfranchised, neglected, outcast, how they are in the future, right? And we see in this chapter, Shigaraki's neglected, or his dreams are crushed, and he's a little outcast by his friends, he has the allergies, but really the striking thing in this chapter, and I'm sure everyone else saw it, was the abuse from his father. You know, his father physically hits him, his father has, like I said, the punishments where he puts him outside like a dog. I thought that was pretty disturbing and psychologically damaging to him. Now, the reason I raise this is because this is not the first time My Hero Academia has dealt with the theme of abuse, and it didn't really go over so well the first time. Now, I know it was a little different because Endeavor abused Shoto, and then now he's being redeemed, and apparently no one likes forgiveness these days. So I don't think it will be as bad, and I think it will be a little less because Shigaraki's a villain, and this actually makes sense for why he's a villain. It makes sense for his motivations, because I always questioned, why does he hate everything? Why does he hate All Might so much? Well, now we see. His friends compared him to All Might, but his dad's saying he can't be that, so he's gonna spite it. You know, why does he hate everyone and want to destroy everything except his comrades? Well, his whole family never told him that he could be a hero, so he hates all of them, except for Hana-chan, okay? I gotta keep the faith. She's coming back, alright? But now I can see clearly his motivations. So I'm actually glad that Horikoshi went with this idea of him having an abusive past. I don't know any other way to do that. The unfortunate thing is that my friend Jonan, you guys should check him out on YouTube, in his video he mentioned that Horikoshi had trouble in the Chisaki arc because it was so dark. And I can't imagine that this arc is any lighter. So I'm worried that he's going to get backlash from people that don't like abuse. Now, our community's fine, we're good, we like it. But there are a lot of people, and I hope that they don't really hurt Horikoshi over this and, attack him. They were sending him death threats. Again, I don't think it's going to be as bad as Endeavor. But my main question for you guys is, do you guys think there is a limit on what you can put in a manga? Just because of its medium. We have books, TV shows, movies with a wide variety of themes. There's violence, gore, destruction, nudity, name it, anything. So you can go and watch a Netflix show and there'll be abuse in it, but somehow it's not acceptable to open a manga and see the same thing. Personally, and you can disagree with me, I don't think our stories should have limits on what they have in it based on the medium. I'm not talking about a children's book. I'm just talking about if you're flipping through pages of a book or watching Netflix, they can have the same themes, and I don't think it should be different for a manga. I think our manga should have any theme they want to. Sure, ratings are fine, but I don't think we should restrict a story just because it's in a Shonen Jump magazine or it's in a book form. But let me know what you guys think. Should manga be restricted to something that is, lighthearted in its violence, or there's no consequences? Or do you agree with me that should it embody any story we want it to be, no matter what? And I think for My Hero Academia to work, it has to have all these themes. It must show disenfranchisement. It must show abuse. It must show these backstories that make people great heroes or horrible villains. As always, let me know your thoughts below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, Plus Ultra.